would've texted. If I wanted to stop, I would've let it go. But I get it, it's alright. 'Cause I can't keep my shit together. Say fuck it, yeah, can't debate that. Don't want shit to get better, 'cause it made me forget it all and I hate that. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, baby? No wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you leave me, 'cause loving me is the easy. I'ma show you how to listen to my body. And now you're gonna hear it in your bones. Ouch, when you love someone you're hurting. You gotta take it or leave it here, wasted all alone. I know you feel it right. I know you feel it, know you feel it right. I know I'm still gonna need to let you go. I know you fool me when you hold me like you know you're never gonna let me go. I know you feel it right, like you're never gonna let me go. I know you feel it right, like you're never gonna let me go. Like you're never gonna let me go. I know you feel it right now, right now, right now.
Welcome, Billies. We're all here. We're ready to go. Yeah, I said it. He said I wasn't gonna. I was gonna do it. We're here on Tuesday. It is League of Legends. Normally the Mondays bring you the Valorant. It was an awesome game yesterday. Thanks very much to Hal and Veggie for taking over the mic. You now have me, Beanie, and Brad with me as well. Bradoof. I think I'd say veterans of this league channel, the league server within the Goose House. And if you are new, each and every Tuesday, Lloyd CT brings us a lovely skirmish. This week's a little bit different, though. Normally, we just pair people up together, and this week, I think we've put them all in teams themselves. Is that correct?
No, that's not right. Not this time. Not
Oh,
this time. They actually got
oh,
most of the people together to put the teams together so that everyone knew the teams were fair this time.
right, okay. So, yeah, making it fair. What we do is exactly the same how we do in the weekly skirmish on the Valorant. And we get everyone's ranks, we get everyone's positions as well, and then we put them all together and make sure the teams are fair. Lloyd says he took about 2 to 4 hours doing it. You know, I see him playing games most of the time, so I don't really think he does. But they're fair as they fair can be. And with that, he's actually sent us the op.gg, so we can actually have a little look through. So, what are the teams we have here tonight for the first semi-final?
So we have Team KONRAD and Team KIAN. I know KIAN quite well. Played quite a few games with KIAN. Lost quite a lot of elo with KIAN. So I'm hoping that KONRAD's team will put him in the dirt because he deserves it for taking away my lovely, lovely LP.
Okay. So on that team, we have, and I apologise for everyone for this one name. We have Riz Enjoyer straight away at the top there. We have Shield Twink. The Twinks are taking over the TGH slightly. Fieldy, Milkyard, and Monster. Now, Milkyard's just come back actually from a very, very long sort of hiatus from League. He's actually got to climb back from bronze all the way up. He's already now in gold 2. I played with him not too long ago. He was an old Master Challenger player back in sort of season 3 or 4. Put it in mind, we're now in season 13. So, you know, it's coming back. He's getting it back into the groove, and he obviously sit on the ADC role. We've got different roles here for different people. Riz Enjoyer, that's an Iron 2 in the jungle against a jungle of... We actually don't know on the other team. It could be really anyone there. I think potentially it's Big Mitch, who is a silver player.
I can check for you if you give me 2 seconds. I'll get up my little notes here.
Ooh.
So for Team KIAN, we have Big Mitch in the top lane, we have Gem in the jungle, KIAN in the mid lane, Jacob in the AD carry role, and Kama Chameleon in support. Then for Team KONRAD, we have KONRAD in top, Rain in the jungle, Milkyard in mid, Fieldy in AD carry, and I cannot pronounce that name. Eternal Ether? Arthur? I don't know. They're in
Yes.
support.
Okay. So when we do this, if anyone's new to League, we have bans and picks. So we go for a ban. What we'll do is 3 bans straight away on both sides. Then a team will get first pick. Now that first pick, we generally have a choice. We won't have the choice of side to start with. So there are 2 sides to the Rift. One side offers a bit more than the other, but depending on who you are, generally they say blue side wins quite a lot. Not on my watch, apparently. Blue side is my worst win rate side, and everyone seems to win quite well and want that blue side. If you're on the red side, I think you don't get first pick first. Blue side gets it. But with first pick, you're looking at something like Shield Twink, Diamond 3. I played against him last week. His Seraphine was ridiculous. You've only got 3 bans, and then they get to pick. Where are you going to prioritize this? Are you going to prioritize it on the tops of the diamonds, or are you going to prioritize it per lane to try and match up better? Where would you go?
I think it all depends on that first pick. So normally on red side, what you want to do is kind of try and match the pace and picks of the blue side so that you can get that really important counter last pick. So blue side will take first pick, red side will then take 2, blue will then take 1, and then we'll go into the bans. Oh no, it's the other way around, isn't it? Blue will take 1, red will take 2, blue will take 2, then red will take 1. Then they'll do the other 2 bans, and then red side will pick once more, and then blue will pick their last 2, leaving red side with their last pick. So that last pick can really determine how the game goes, and getting that really important ban and sort of like the counter pick in there. So if you can carry and get your mid laner or your top laner or your jungle ahead, that's really important because they're going to impact the rest of the game going forwards.
Yeah, we just heard it in one of the games before. Someone came into a chat and was chatting away about, unfortunately, where the gold was and where the carries weren't and how the team comp goes. So, the best thing I think about this skirmish is it really does bring out some lower level players actually at their best, because some people, like myself, I prefer the team aspect. I prefer the flex way. I prefer playing around the team and choosing different people because that's just how well I play. In a solo duo, you kind of have to try and get the carries going and get things going. But with this, they can actually mold around that team draft. And the communications between the teams, now we've done this for quite a while. I think a few people are starting to play with each other again and again, just here and there, because it's how it kind of works out. I know we'd never get really on a team, but we was last week, if I remember, because I had to drop in mid. I don't play mid whatsoever, but the first game was okay because I managed to get someone I knew how to play well. But again, we stuck around a team comp and we ran it really well. And in the first week that I'd done this, I played with Pyro and their team. It was actually, I think it was my team, and we stuck to that as well. Is there any team comps recently in the meta that you think would do really well? And looking at the players that you've got here, I know, for instance, Milk, I've seen play sort of like Jinx and the Ezreals here and there. Is that where you'd think, where would you think would go best?
I really like the playstyle around the new items. So AD carry has got a lot stronger, but they're still a lot vulnerable to the assassins that are coming in as well. Like assassins are very strong at the moment. You've got things like Kha'Zix that are going to just delete these AD carries that are going to be doing all the damage. So I'd like to see if they're going to go for an AD carry that's going to get all the gold. They're going to give some decent protection, a good strong tank, and a lot of peel. But if they're going to go for these more assassin picks in the jungle, I'd like to see them sort of roaming a lot more and picking off the people that they can and making these fights 5v4 or 5v3 depending on how far ahead they are and how much damage they can do in that short time.
Yeah, I like the fact this assassin meta is coming back through things like Talon, the Zeds, where they had their jungle buff not that long ago, and now the items are changing. The meta's really swiveling on because it has been a big ADC meta. Maybe not in solo duo games, but definitely in team games where if, as long as you peel for them and have the support there for them, they do so much damage in the backline. Now the assassins come back. Kha'Zix, thinking people like that coming in. But just looking here, Monster Buff in the top lane hit Plat 2 on a 7-game win streak and really raking in the new Riven buffs as well coming through.
Yeah, Riven is really strong at the moment. I mean, she's a strong champion on her own anyway, as long as she doesn't get countered. Again, it really depends on the team play and the way that you want to push out your lanes. If you want to go for those, top laners like Yorick, where you're just going to be top the whole game and let your team sort of survive in the 4v5s where you're constantly adding that pressure, then that's going to work really well as well. But again, it will depend on what the enemy team take as well. So if they're going to be picking a 5v5 steamroll team, then there's no chance that you can do that sort of tactic. You have to make sure you're matching what the enemy team's trying to do as well, and try and take away from that too.
Yeah, every team will have their game plan going in. You know who you kind of want to pick. I think for here, Shield, banning away Shield Twink was one that we tried doing last week, and unfortunately didn't really work out greatly for us, as we now go into Champion Select, not Agent Select. So you can see the different positions down there now. Where the positions are, you see Fieldy, Milk, and Monster there on the jungle, mid, and bot. They may not actually be picking the people they're going to play. So just for that perspective, it could go through. And as you see straight away, the Riven ban and the Talia ban.
That's a Milo ban down there, and a Zeri
Milo,
ban.
sorry.
Matched with a Silas ban there as well. So they're respecting the Silas from Milkyard, which did dominate last time in the last game that they played. And they're matching that with a Diana ban and a Seraphine. So you play a lot of Seraphine. So talk me through why Seraphine you think is a good ban there.
It's the range on Seraphine could be quite sort of potent in lane as well. And it's not actually, so Shield Twink looks like it's on the support. And Shield takes this mid lane as I did, and then he did against me, and it is very, very strong. So much the charm, the healing, the shielding. You literally, if you've got a Sona Seraphine, which I've seen a couple of times now, you just can't kill them. They just get away. Not a big pick currently in the meta for things like in like MSI that we just saw. Wasn't actually picked once, but in these kind of lower bracket games, you definitely see it. And there's your girl there, Vi, coming out as well.
Yeah, so Vi is really strong. Lethality Vi, essentially, it's one of these almost assassin tanky champions where her aim is going to get straight in, get an uninterrupted ult off onto the AD carry, and then deal a load of damage to take them out of the fight and probably die in the process. So that's going to be a really strong pick. So I'm expecting to see a Xayah pick come out now just to protect against that Vi ult. because I think that's going to be really important, along with the Rakan buff that will give to Xayah, given the range of the abilities there. But they are coming out with a Nocturne instead. That's quite surprising. I thought they'd go for that combo.
Yeah, I think Vi Xayah isn't something they don't want to throw their hand up just yet. With the Zeri band down there, wondering where to go through as a Janna comes through, so they respect the fact that, you know, Calm on that Rakan is really good. He's a one-trick pony on that in a sense. It doesn't mean he's bad on anything else. It's just he's one main. The Janna coming through really helps that. Obviously, the ultimate on Janna just stops the Nocturne coming in straight away. With Milk coming out on that, the W from Milk can stun quite nicely. So if a tornado hits you, you're then probably going to get stunned as well. The CC train is pretty big, and if that's going to help, Vi's coming straight in, as we also see a Mordekaiser as well picked. So yeah, no ADC here, which means there's 2 open bans for ADC right away.
Yeah, well, they've matched the Fiora ban to stop the counter pick into the Mordekaiser. A Yasuo ban coming out as well as a Kayle.
Yeah, maybe respecting the fact that Zombie likes to play Yasuo. The Mordekaiser coming out means you've got AP damage, so an AD mid laner is very big here. It can be, where Mordekaiser we know is probably going to go top. So Big Mitch here looking to potentially pick that ADC as the Xayah is actually banned away.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely what they should be doing there, is banning that Rakan Xayah combination there, because I don't think there's any other AD carries now that can sort of protect themselves from Vi's ult. So that's going to be really key to bring in.
I think potentially a Caitlyn here, Ezreal, yeah, something that with both their E's actually just dodging back a little bit, creating some space. Once Vi's clicked on you, she's following you. So if you E and flash away, you're probably going to travel half the map. And then Mordekaiser's probably going to sit there and just ult straight away on whoever the carry is. That's a little bit easier for then Mitch to potentially get away. We're looking now, we've got a mid laner to go on both sides here. Monster Buff probably not going to want to take it straight away, but I don't think it really matters. They both got 2 picks. So Yone now coming out, the other brother.
Yeah, so there's no AP coming from the team. I'm expecting a strong, high damage AP champion or maybe a tank. Because at the moment it looks like they've only got the Vi for frontline. And there is Lissandra is going to be a bit of a tankier mid laner. She's quite strong. She has a lot of survivability. So that is going to be a good pick to take into this. Right
now, though, we've seen Cassante mid. Now, there's not that much AP damage. But unless, because they've already picked the jungle, you can't really get a Rammus in. A Malphite mid would have potentially worked, as we've seen that kind of go up. The Silas ban has been going into a Cassante as well. I think Cassante Vi frontline with something like a Janna, Yone, because obviously with the Yone, does have a gap closer, but then can dodge back as well. I kind of like the team comp coming out right now from the blue side of Yard, but Ari as well, so a little bit of dash in and out. Same with that Ezreal, as they're all going to move around. So I don't think they were all in their correct positions as we were looking in, but Milk is in the mid lane on that Lissandra. So looking at comps, we need to wait for Team Cam to really get online here. On the side of with Zombie Jacob there on the Ezreal, all of them need a bit of time. Vi against Nocturne, it's a tough one. I main Nocturne it potentially in the jungle. You main Vi, actually kind of in the jungle. So both need they get ahead quickly. It's very much a hard one to try and collect the tempo back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the Team Milkyard is probably going to do a lot better in the early game, definitely. See if they can get those plates down, see if they can really push in those lanes and get the snowball rolling. If they don't, I think they're going to have a really tough time trying to close this game out at sort of 35 minutes in.
Yeah, Yone behind isn't exactly the best, but again, if you can break down that tier 1, tier 2 quite quickly, maybe even break the inhibitor too early, just feed that Yone some more gold, definitely can come back, as I've seen it plenty of times. We are literally straight in game with Team KONRAD and Team KIAN.
Here is what they're doing now. They're just defending, trying to make sure that no one's invading into the jungle, getting that information if they are looking to push up. It looks like the red side are looking to push into the teams there. So I'm expecting maybe a late invade here, but Jin should be able to get out of that.
Yeah, you can get a flash here, I reckon, as Janna's maybe just going to come up. So Fieldy just waking up, because Janna walked up there, just kind of respecting it here, actually. We're getting a little bit of respect coming out with the emotes flying.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rammus emotes, it's really important you get your emotes in.
I think this is going to be a good matchup in the mid lane. This is going to be really where it's which one can really move quicker, and I think Milk with the the AoE can really kill that minion lane quickly to push it into KIAN. KIAN then has to waste quite a bit of mana actually to move through, as we see in the Rakan just tapping away there.
I think he's very happy that he's got his main. Obviously, Team KIAN aren't being respected on that Rakan ban.
So it's going to be quite strange. You see, Milk did put a last-minute ward there inside. So going to see that Raptor camp. Maybe have to, in between sort of one for text, make one of us be able to draw on the map. That would be kind of cool. But as you see, we're going to see Gromp, and as you see the other two little white dots, you see a little blue one just above Ari, the mid laner's head. As soon as that's going to come through, but Risen Joy just coming through. This is going to be a quite even matchup in the jungle, actually. So well done, Lloyd, keeping him there. I think they're both pretty much iron. So I think the lanes are going to be won or lost with depending on how good the matchups are themselves.
Yeah, it looks like they're both doing full side clears as well. So they're going to clear their bot side jungle, then look to move their way up. It looks like there may be some pushing going in the bot lane there as well. You can see on the mini-map. The Rakan and Ezreal are pushing the Jhin and Shanna back under turret, which is not what we wanted to see early game from this team.
Nice little fist fight going on here in mid as KIAN's out having to pop the pop, and so is Milkyard. The electrocute coming out from KIAN twice there, actually. And there we go. You're going to see Aqua on that there. They're going to ping it straight away, knowing he's going to go top side clear, and Yone is pushing into the Mordekaiser. So maybe a little bit of disrespect coming out from Yone in top lane.
I think we're about to see Oh, the Q just misses. I think that would have been the damage needed to actually finish off that kill there. So it's a real shame that that didn't come through. But KIAN just gets away. So maybe if Risen Joy had hit that Q, he would have definitely died there.
Yeah, just unfortunate. And actually, the disrespect coming through is Risen Joy is going to look for this. I don't really know why. As the charm's going to land, the turret's going to really come in. Flash coming out, and that is
first blood.
First blood down to Ari, and wasn't really needed. The biggest issue is now KIAN does need to stay, but a lot of money in the back pocket of KIAN, not really much mana. So this is pretty much a free back for Milk, but not the one that really wanted, as Aqua now could really come into this top side lane if he actually comes through the lane rather than Tribush. You're going to see this straight through. So, yeah, just maybe a little bit of lack of concentration, maybe thinking they can get it, but, being level 3 or 4 is bot lane. Not quite getting away with anything there. So, the Ezreal is going to be very, very hungry on the mana, though. Yeah,
absolutely. And as you can see, the gank's looking to be coming in on top side. It's very telegraphed there, so you can see that Mitch was pushing up when he didn't have the wave. It was pretty obvious that Nocturne was around, so hopefully he's passing that information on to his team. He's not pinged it though, but hopefully he's using his words.
Yeah, well, they saw him on the ward there, was pinging away, so this is a free Scuttle Crab there. Maybe going to have a little see of each other, but the TP coming in, maybe not going to get respected. No, it really does. Just leaves a cheeky little ward. Now gets to see that as pings are coming out left, right, and centre. Ward now in the bot side is a little bit of a fight down. But zombies going real low at the moment. Maybe a kill going down. Flash has been used. Heal's not been taught. Exhaust has been used on the Rakan. We can't unfortunately see it just yet. And they look like they've just moved away. So Ghost used on Fieldy as well on the Jhin, but Flash used by the Janna and Shield. So a little bit of a skirmish going on down here as well. As this is going to push into the red side.
Yeah, and getting hit there was not ideal for the Ezreal, having to waste even more mana trying to get away from danger. I think it's going to be really important that he tries to keep hold of as much mana as he can just to keep that farm going. So Ezreal's passive, every time he hits a Q, so he shoots out a little laser and hits something with it, he gets increased attack speed. So in order to clear his wave and keep it from being pushed under tower, he's going to need to keep firing out those Qs. So he needs to keep his mana as best he can.
So it looks like Mountain at the moment as the Q does land on the first and the first E does land, but Risen Joy needs to follow this up because Milk, I doesn't think have the E to really get in there. KIAN could be away for a second time here.
And he stops the Q with the charm. Beautiful.
That's coming round though, and I'm not really sure. KIAN may have just seen it last minute. W to use it away for the movement speed, but Risen Joy's got to come through, and the flash coming out gives the Yone the first kill. And we did say Yone does need to get into the game quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see his farm at the bottom of the screen there. He does have a little farm lead, but also that kill on top as well. And looking at farm as well, actually, you can see the farm for Milk is actually quite a lot higher than Ari's there. It's almost double. And then you've got Jin that's 7 farm behind as well. You ignore the farm from the bottom 2 because the sports don't really need to do any farming whatsoever.
Sorry, I've just turned on the stream to look at chat, so I was going to ask chat something, and thank you very much to Aaron, Infex, and Lem as well. Everyone, actually, thank you very much. I think Brad needs one themselves, though. But we see Mountain Drake here, and the question I was going to ask chat is what soul do we think we're going to have? Because Mountain Soul's pretty good, but it's not going to be, as we're going to see Monster Buff coming straight through. Big Micho getting that passive in, going to put a lot of damage down. I think we're going to see Tabby Boots coming out real quick, and potentially much healing coming on, but potentially as well early Bramble Vest. Drake is going to get started up. The fact that Top's pushing in, don't really know where the jungler is. And they're all kind of pinging straight away. So a little bit of respect there. The bot has moved in, which means on that bot lane, which means they've kind of got this for free. But this is what I said at the start, right? It was what mid laner can move first for their team, and where can they get it to for the extra advantage.
Ooh, I've seen people lose to smites like that. You know, Jinx ult's taken away from some people when they're smiting. You know, you never forget when you get a good steal off when you're not the jungler. So that can be quite a highlight. So it's definitely worth going for.
Yeah. Milk did move up, but I don't see a ward being placed down at all. And KIAN did manage to get back for the cannon as well. So not really lost too much there, KIAN. A little bit of a farm lead for Milk. Milk, I've seen very well farm incredibly well. So the gold sitting there, it's not going to be too bad there. It's a 30 nearly lead.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's purely reflected in the fact that KIAN has been more active on the map. He's been going around a bit more, but he has been ganked twice as well, so that is quite a big impact. You can see the gold difference isn't that big because he got that first blood gold. It's only about 100 gold behind, even though he is 23 farm as well. Looking at the bot lane, you can see that the Ezreal is ahead, and I think that's pretty obvious there as well. And in top lane, it's not that far apart either.
No, the ward's coming out, ping's coming out as well, so there's the issue with an early Drake. The fact that Nocturne is still in the bot side, is level 6, potentially looking to get through. Shelly is going to be done by the Vi and the Yone. Big Mitch just going to place that ward down. 5 gold for free, going to see Monster Buff there, but I don't think Mitch has to respect this because Milk looks like the minion wave's pushing in. As again, stunned on Zombie Jacob. I said this at the start. You know, a tornado straight into the W. It's going to be hard to get out, but you've got a Rakan to sit there and block. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the Rakan's been spot on. I've seen quite a few times now when that Jin W's come out, he's been jumping in the way to try and block it. So the reaction times are definitely there. We've just got to see him actually pull it off.
Yeah, it has been there a couple of times. Just going to warm up, I think, Cam, and Zombie now dodging that one there on the Ezreal. Look at the wards down in this bot side. We've got a couple of minutes now until this Drake, so you got to think, you got to try and save here. What's the next item spike? You want to slow things down now. Nocturne's just going to go full clear, get back, potentially look for something with the ultimate as well. You need to try and use it as much as possible. Is actually going for the Stride Breaker build, I think, here, which is a good one. No one's really that squishy on the side, and Eclipse could have done okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think it's really important as well that everyone is aware on Team KONRAD that the Nocturne is level 7 now. So he does have that ability to come in. And we can see now that the mid laner KIAN is coming down to bot side. Maybe see if something can happen. But he has been spotted on a ward. The Vi's moving down to match. So we'll see if they want to try and make a play here and try and bait them in.
Yeah, not sure where the Vi would be. You'd expect on the blue buff right now, if they both path top, the Nocturne would know that same kind of pace, and Nocturne's backing, you know, potentially seeing the Vi in the bot lane as Rakan is going to go in. Not going to respect. KIAN is actually going to wait. A TP is now going to come out as well from the Milk Yard. It's going to come through with the Lasagna.
The Lasagna, yeah, Lasagna is coming in. She's used ult, and now the Nocturne's coming in as well.
Little 4v4 going on, but the team's going through. KIAN's going to go to the Janna ult, huge, and the Jin ult's going to come through, gets one, going to snipe away. Ezreal does get a kill here, though, gets a second, potentially a third. Lissandra does get one here. Rizzojoy now just going to collect that up, and Janna with the healing coming out as well, but great play there by the team. Ari did wait a little bit, maybe should have respected the TP coming in, but Milk was on it straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to point out as well, the Janna did take one of those kills, and that is definitely a support tax there for saving everyone with that amazing ult.
As support mains, I fully agree. Yon coming in with the ultimate straight away. You're going to try to get Big Mitch here. Should really get this one down. There's a few slice and dices away, and the shield's going to come through, but the ultimate in as well, and 300 gold straight over as Big Mitch was thinking about trying to get that then. And this is the thing, you lose the bot side, you want to try and push the top side, and here we go, Monster's just going to take even more, as we've only got about a couple of minutes now, obviously, until those plates go down. This Yon is going to get extremely strong.
Yeah, and hopefully what I'd like to see here is him take a couple of plates and then back and maybe pass bot side, because we do have Dragon coming up in 30 seconds. So that would be really important to get all the members down there, secure that first Drake for his team. The TP coming out from Big Mitch here is huge actually, because it means that he's not going to have that if Monster does decide to go bot lane for this Dragon.
Yeah, it's when you said huge, it means kind of good play. I think from Mitch there, holding that just in case coming down, you now don't have the TP advantage that you did have. Looking at sums though, there are hardly any sums on the team of KONRAD on that blue side. KIAN still with the flashes on all of their main carries and the Rakan. So the Rakan ult is still ready to live. All the ults are pretty much ready to go again. Vi's ult is ready to go here as well. So both junglers top side.
Yeah, and it looks like we're about to have a 2v2 fight in the top side. We'll see who ults first, I guess, from the junglers.
Yeah, Nocturne coming straight out. The flash has come in. KIAN is here as well. The rotation coming out, but unfortunately not going to be able to do much. As slam goes the hammer of the Mordekaiser and going to try and get through. The flash, Everfrost misses. Monster's trying to do it, but bonk on the head with the Mordekaiser. And Big Mitch down with 2 kills. So with this, though, you'd expect you want to do something the opposite side of the map. But I'm very shocked the fact that they're trying to take over this top side when a free Chemtech Drake is pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a one-off of a Chemtech Drake is still quite useful.
Oh, milk. Missing that cannon, sorry.
So he does just dodge out, and then the bonk does just come back down. There was nowhere for him to go. I think he probably should have respected the dive a little bit more. The Ari did get the assist, or was it the kill there? It was the assist. So she got the reset on the ult, so she could have had that extra dash in. So I think he probably could have respected it a little bit better, moved down to the lane a bit more, and just backed a bit more safely.
Yeah, the Janna here is just going to try and protect away, try to make sure they get the wards for this, because now the whole team's going to be coming down. Nocturne is on their way. The Vi point and click, and this is what we're saying, you have to follow, and Vi is now just going to take turret shots on turret shots. Unfortunately, that Q does miss, though. Ult does land, 2 HP in a dream. Risen Joy does get away, but Shield Twink now blasting away as the Jhin on Fieldy does get that kill. Shield there, blasting away with that, the mastery spam coming out, we love to see it. That ultimate big, making sure that the Rakan couldn't actually get Fieldy down. KIAN is here though, does get the charm off. The next Q does land as well. The Q of Zombie does land as well, and again gets away with no HP.
Yeah, that was so close. I think KIAN will be a little bit upset that kill didn't come through, but I guess their little consolation prize will be a second Drake, because the Vi is nowhere near, and they should be able to chunk it down in time. But Lissandra is pushing in, obviously just warding up. Maybe she's going to be getting the pings to go in. She is pinging to go in. Maybe she's going to ult on the Nocturne and get the Vi over the wall to secure the kill. Nope, they're just going to sort of posture around it, which is a bit of a shame, because I think they probably could have made a play out of that.
Yeah, but I think the backing, they know where the bot lane are, okay? You know where Fieldy and the Janna and Shield is, so you have to kind of respect the fact that, you know, they're not as close as potentially Zombie and Cam. Cam was already obviously there, but, you know, now they get the back in. But this Yon, you said this earlier, like on the Yorick, you have someone that's just pushing the top side. As long as you know that your team are doing well there, as we're going to see potentially Milk coming out in the mid lane, the ultimate still ready to go. The charm coming straight out. The ult is going to land, going to take turret shot after turret shot. But the Nocturne is just going to try and come through. I think this is a bit of a suicide mission there, though. You're going to have to flash out.
Get the double buff. Oh, that's a shame. That probably should have been much better on the Lissandra. I think she was probably just a little bit out of range to get that kill there, so giving it to the Vi is probably a good thing. Yeah,
getting the Vi a little bit ahead, I think, as well. So, but that Nocturne ult potentially, you know, a solo kill here up in the top lane we didn't see. Very much well done to Prod for that one. As this is a second Shelly now, so they lose a Drake, but they get the second Shelly. Not as much gold this time. Obviously, the turret plate's definitely not there, but this is where you now start to think we need to open up that mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the taking of the red buff as well onto the Yone, getting that extra bit of damage is going to be really important too. So look, you can see here, he dashes in, he's got the spell shield, he comes straight back out, and yeah, there's not a lot Mitch can do now that he's less far ahead. I think he's going to have to turtle for the rest of this game, or just try and get into the team fights a little bit quicker and a bit better than the Yone is. So we'll just have to see what Big Mitch does now. He's got the Riley's Crystal Scepter, so he's going to be able to slow them a little bit more, so that may have a bigger impact in the team fights, but we'll have to see.
I think they've got to really play for the late game now, Kian, right? Look at the farm between everyone. 40 in the top lane, 50 in the... Well, a lot more just suddenly then. 60 now pretty much in that mid lane. Bot lane's the only way they're really ahead in the jungle. It's kind of even with the assistant kills there as well, as the monster is just going to come back through. Does have that Rift Herald as well. The Vi does keep giving it through, as I think mid tower is now down on the side of red.
Yeah, and it looks like Milk's trying to keep the top lane pushed. I think this is, like I said, the game plan is to keep this top lane pushed in, keep the pressure on this side of the map, let the Jhin start farming up some more, get some more gold in his pocket, and then he's just going to be able to carry in his team fights while the Yone's pushing into the base.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Milk coming in a second, but maybe we're not going to really see Milk at the moment. Where are you, Milk? Where have you gone? We couldn't see her there. Is Multibus going to come through? Cam's going to come in now with the ultimate as well to try and save the Mordekaiser. But I think the Lysandra actually came back straight through as the Yone I think is now going to go.
Yeah, it looks like the blue team there are going to try and cross-map this and maybe dive the Ezreal. Pings are coming out, so maybe that's what they're going to get in retaliation. But at least the Yone there went 1 for 1, so it's not terrible on his part. He did get the turret as well, so and Shelly got a second charge off, so that's even bigger.
Yeah, Shelly getting the charge off on that first tower up in the top lane. The first tier 3 tower we're kind of seeing there. But yeah, bot lane taken as well. So that cross-map play definitely works quite well. It forced everyone up to the top side. You have to respect, as a Gal Force Yone, you know, it's going to dive in, charge in, and make sure they can get out with the E as well. So a lot of gap closing well. I think that Gal Force is a great item against someone like an Ezreal, Mordekaiser, the Ahri as well, and the Rakan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just going to help him reposition as much as he can. That was a beautiful Q coming out from KIAN there. He's sort of just weighing out the ult. The Ignite comes down, but KIAN should be in safe now, especially with the Twink coming in and helping him there. And yeah, the support tax comes in for saving his life. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's 100% fair, but the biggest thing there was Ignite and Flash used on KIAN there on the Ahri. Not going to be happy they wasted the Flash there. All sums still up for Milk and Shield as well. So this Yone is going to be huge in the next couple of minutes with 55 seconds till Ocean Soul. Cloud Soul, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cloud Soul is probably not one of the more useful ones. It's probably arguably the worst straight. But I think it may be able to help Team KONRAD actually push out this game with the cooldown reduction and a little bit of movement speed.
Oh, it's a big W and a lot coming out.
Yeah, absolutely.
The combination of that was absolutely huge. Coming out there with the ult straight through. You didn't really see it as well. The graphic didn't come up, so you wouldn't have been able to dodge that. As they're really pushing on here, trying to they're trying to make sure that in 19 seconds time they can potentially get back. But this is where they're going to try another move. And the TP coming straight out as well. Cam is incredibly low. Yone does get out here as KIAN does get it down with a lovely Q. Lysandra is going to try and get through to the backline. We have fights going on absolutely everywhere. KIAN now going to go get done by the point and click CC as the Vi. The flash coming out from Milk just to make sure to take that kill, and the Vi doesn't take another one. Fieldy all by themselves against the Nocturne, going to get stunned up and fleed away, but Zombie Jacob is going to flash over, just about get that, and a 600 gold shutdown on the Ezreal, potentially going to try and get another one.
Yeah, and I think the Vi flashing in there was pretty big. It's going to force the Ezreal back, but the Nocturne is still up and going to be pushing in. That was quite a scrappy fight there. It had gone for quite a while. Everyone sort of separated out into their own sort of little groups there, picking off each other. But ultimately, Team KIAN's come out on top. I think it was just a little bit better positioning from them, and they're going to be rewarded with the Ocean Drake, stacking that up to 3.
Just seems to work the team fights in their favour as they get this, but Milk is here, and I'm not sure if there's a smite up. They wouldn't know if the Nocturne used smite on any of the deaths. That's going to come across, and I think Milk's going to come in.
Yeah, I think we're going to see them coming in. We've got the Yone ult coming in, trying to burst down this Nocturne, but he's sort of staying on the dragon there, thinking that's more important than the team fight right now because they are a little bit behind.
And it does get taken away. It does get stunned up as well. Big Mitch trying to get through, but this monster buff is absolutely huge. Yone is going left, right, and center. Double kill for the Yone. Wants a little bit more, but does get clapped by the Ari. Charm going to land. Going to stop the Q. No, it doesn't this time. It's going to come through, and Fieldy gets another one. KIAN, though, huge work from here. Trying to carry this game massively on the back of their shoulders. Back must be hurting, but look at that top wave. 2 waves crashing in. That tower is down in that top side, so it's really a weak side now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really key as well that they're going to get back and maybe stop the inhibitor there, so they're going to be able to make some plays around Baron there. Getting the bot side pushed in as well, I think is really important there from KIAN. Making sure those waves sort of crash into towers. I mean, they are still behind on gold. They're still 5k gold behind, so I don't think that fight was make or break. They are still quite far behind.
Yeah, but I think there were some good shutdowns collected. You know, you're looking at Monster now on the Yone, only 150 gold. I think it was a lot more than that before. 300 gold now on Milk in that mid lane. You know, Shadow Flame ever for us. A little bit of a weird, do you want to do damage or not kind of build, but I think playing their part hugely, picking up a couple of kills, but most of those 8 assists, all the kills going where you want it, and that's on that Yone. I think in those team fights, a little bit more protection. Maybe Monster needs to play a little bit slower after getting the first 2, because really diving into a pretty strong Ezreal now with that Triforce Manamune and Ari with 2 as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And we're going to see how they're going to position around this Baron fight. They are taking a little bit of damage. You know, he's going to dive over the wall, see if he can get any picks, but they can easily just go back off from that. Ezreal ult used a little bit early. The Nocturne ult now coming out, trying to force everyone away, and we see them separating out again in 2 lots, and just trying to reposition there from Shield Twink. We'll see if he can use his ult to save the monster buff.
Monster buff's ult was huge. They managed to get a few down, but Nocturne and Ezra just doing damage, and KIAN really doing some work here. Janna's just going to get away, but yeah, nearly throwing on a fight there, I think. They had no real right to go for that Baron play. The bot lane wasn't pushed in, the mid lane wasn't really pushed in, and the top lane was pushing against them. I think maybe their eyes are getting a little bit too big and not really respecting the fact that that 5k gold lead is now only going down to a 1k gold lead within a matter of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right in saying that the greed was there. They saw the Baron, they thought that they were ahead, and they feel that they could actually, you know, win these fights. But it seems to be the positioning from Team KIAN that's actually winning them. As you can see right at the start of that last fight, you know, they split off into 3 and 2. It was quite easy for the 5v3 to then turn on the other 2 as well.
They're just looking like to charge ahead. They had such a big lead, but they didn't really play the map entirely well. How did they get the lead? Well, I think it was the Yone pushing out. It's collecting 2 or 3 members of Team KIAN every single time, which means everyone else can get gold.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that maybe what you said before with the Yone maybe positioning a little bit better, you know, not greeding for the extra 3rd kill or 4th kill, is really going to sort of like help his team out there. Maybe he just needs to get onto the Ari a little bit quicker, try and shut her down, because she's getting some massive damage output at the moment. It'll be really interesting to see at the end of this match who's really ahead on damage.
Yeah, I think KIAN on the Ari has been crucial with certain positions, and this is the blessed with the thing with that character is you need to be able to get into certain positions with the ultimate as well. If I remember rightly, there's quite a lot of ability haste right now on KIAN, but early on especially the cooldowns are pretty big. As you can see, Milkyard coming in from behind. This is going to be Aqua going down on the Nocturne. This is where they need to start playing it slow, because look where he is right away. Monster buff just literally getting eaten alive as Cam is going to get out there as well. Risen Joy now going to go through. Ult onto the Ari coming out. Milkyard is looking to go through, but Milk is now actually in the ult of the Mordekaiser, out of this fight totally. The Yone does get a big ult off, does get Cam down, looking to try and get the Ari as well. Big Mitch is still in the back line though, does get the kill down. Come through, so that ult there from Mordekaiser is a little bit of a weird one.
Yeah, I think that he probably should be ulting the Yone, getting him out of the fight, because he did take down 2 members there. I think it's really important that he's taking out the fight so the Ari can do her thing and the Ezreal can start choking everyone down. Even if he does lose his life, chances are it's going to be a 3v5 at that point, and you know, that's all they'll need to shut him down.
How long are those tornadoes? And this is where the Ezreal is really going to come in. Those Qs are going to hit real hard. As Milk's looking to come straight in, does just about dodges that Ari. Sharp, absolutely huge. The shutdown now goes onto the Vi as well. These picks, again, playing nice and slow. Drake is now back up. This Ocean, it is Ocean, is looking to get collected.
And that's their first Drake of the game. I think this game would definitely be a little bit more sided towards Conrad's team if they had managed to pick up a few Drakes early on in the game, but the Vi's positioning was just a little bit out and getting picked off every time these Dragons came up. But if they can start securing a few more of these Dragons, I think that they're going to get a lot stronger, a lot more tankier, and you know, they're going to be able to survive a lot more of this initial poke coming out from the Ezreal.
Yeah, it's a crucial one now. You want to slow everything down. This is where the top lane's pushing in. Someone needs to go collect that, but there's still 4-man rampaging in mid. So, a little bit of a weird one. You just lost top tower. I potentially should have got that, but you're going to see this Yone coming straight into the backline, which means he can actually come back down. The Rakan does get flashed straight through, but you know, Mitch really trying to do some damage, but didn't get Milk down, maybe ulted through, and Milk just eased away through there onto the back. But all by themselves there, really, and you're going to see this top lane now collected by Milk.
Yeah. I think it's interesting use of the Ezreal ult just to be clearing waves. I've seen it used sort of almost off cooldown at the moment, and I don't think that's probably the best way to do it. That was a beautiful sidestep from Fieldy there to dodge the charm. The Janna ult as well, pushing back the Rakan. I think that was beautifully disengaged there from both of them there. That was some top tier play from these players there.
Yeah, the ult coming out as well, and then just the side steps coming through. The one will Milk just then, just before Drake come up. Is we going to see some Agra just not respecting the fact there. Get Flash going to come through. The E going to come in. It's maybe well played, but unfortunately unstoppable for the monster buff there on Yone. Again, getting that pick. Now, what can you do with it? A minute and a half up until Baron. Now, it's probably not the best time to take that pick, but this is where the bot lane can come in big time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the wave and the position it's in and looking at where the rest of the enemy team are, they're going to be pushing down mid while this Yone's clearing top bot side. You see Lysandra and Via backing sort of match this Ahri and try and stop her from pushing in and taking any more turrets.
Yeah, Fieldy can't do this one by one. Ahri's a great ADC killer, but trying to get some damage here. Maybe the respect coming out from the Yone and the Janna now with people coming back. But Fieldy looking to potentially get something on this.
Yeah, the Ahri's forced to ult out there. So we'll see how that's going to affect it, because that's quite a long cooldown if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's quite a decent cooldown on that, and obviously the resets you can get if you do take kills, but nothing taken there whatsoever, and you can see it's now on cooldown. Mitch, the Nocturne, as we go see a fight here, Mitch straight away ulting the Yone, but we know how that fight kind of goes, as it is kind of going one way, but look where the rest of the team are, surrounding Mitch, ready to come out, because this Yone is out of the fight, has to ult away, and does so itself. Nocturne ulted straight in there, and it's exactly what you said, Brad. You need to get that in as an unstoppable Milk comes through as well, and that's what the click and point CC of this Vi can do. So they maybe trade the 1-for-1, but the KIAN goes down, and I think a bit of a cash money went over onto that Lysandra.
Yeah, and it is really important, like to be getting these kills now. You know, Baron's just coming up, Ahri's dead, and Janna's coming up now because she's such a lower level, being a support player. She does have a lot lower respawn timer, so she's going to be able to join this fight a lot earlier than Ahri is. So I think they're probably starting this up now. But if not, then they're going to all need to hard reset.
Yeah, I think this really needs to... They're timing that a little bit wrong here, but you know, the ultimate on Nocturne is coming back through. You've got about 15 seconds left on it as Risen Joy is just taking Q's to the face from Ezreal. The ult's going to come out as well. Doesn't get them low, unfortunately. Nocturne's looking to try and make some space. You got the ultimate coming up on this Rakan as well. Ahri is now back in the fight, and this is what they needed to do last time, but they didn't. They didn't respect the fact that this red team of KIAN can do damage, and it looks like Monsterbuff's going to go in.
Yep, and he's going to be straight back out again. That was a nice use of the Gale Force there to get out of the Rakan knockup.
KIAN has ulted here. You can see the two just beneath them. Does miss that charm. So the ult is now down again, but they've got to respect the fact that top and bot is pushing nicely for this blue side slowly.
Yeah, I think if I were Team KIAN here, I would definitely be letting them take Baron and positioning around this Drake to get this dragon going. Because if they can get this and then they can get the Dragon Soul, I think that they can push and definitely clear out Team KONRAD.
Yeah, Mordekaiser with a lovely cloud Ocean Soul would be pretty big right now as Monster's going to go for a charm coming out, and straight away Risen Joy gets blown up there. There's a combination of everything, and I think the Nocturne, just cheeky little Q there to try and get an assist, but what can Monster do as well? The Ultimate coming out, coming into the backside there. One's going to go down. Surely no, the Ultimate coming out from Mordekaiser is going to save the Rakan. Zombie's just going to sit there and poke straight through. Big Mitch is going to put the shield up. Nearly one down. Monster does get a double kill though. Now going to have to try and go for an Aqua. KIAN has just got no ultimates left. Just run out just at that split second. It's going to come straight through and maybe get the kill, but Ezreal sitting there, double kill in the backline. That E over the wall was huge.
So much damage. Yeah, getting able to get out of that CC from Monster buff there was really, really important. I think he can solo the dragon here, to be fair. I don't think that Lysandra is healthy enough to go in. A Q to the face is probably going to kill it.
Yeah, maybe this shield is really good on this Janna, as you see, and the ultimate is going to come straight out. Maybe just pushing him off is quite good. Another hard reset as the Vi is up first. They can start this one if they want to, as the Vi is not far around. Could just Q over the wall, but isn't going to. And they're going to take potentially their second Drake. Stacking Oceans are pretty good for their team, obviously. You got the Yone with the healing, and they're just stepping out of fighting just a little bit as a TP's coming in.
Yep, so that's going to be the Mordekaiser. We're going to see if they're going to ult the Vi and maybe take that away. And they do secure it with the Smite.
Yeah, huge play, and now you're going to see everyone come in. Monster coming straight through, going to ult and in. Nocturne, no, you're coming in, my boy. You don't really want to do that. It's going to come in, maybe get one or two, creating some space. Unfortunately, Zombie couldn't get in as well, as GA is now on this Ezreal, and KIAN wasn't there in time, so...
Yeah,
Nocturne dying there.
Yeah, that's pretty bad there, because the Vi's going to reset and make her way straight up towards the Baron there. Sorry, not the Vi, the Lysandra. And I think this is definitely going to be a free Baron. I don't think they can take it 2v5 here, especially not with Monster buff hiding around waiting to kite out the Ezreal.
Yeah, you got the TP as well on Lysandra, so Q does a lot of damage, but we know the healing is going to come in, as if that's stolen, that would have been ridiculous. But Lysandra can now probably just TP bot here and really get a push in, but going to have to respect that. Big Mitch is up in a second. Monster buff's going to try and go over. You need to pop up. The Bork is going to go through as well. That's good for the next team fight, as a redemption comes down just to heal Zombie as well. So Guardian's Angel is pretty much a resurrection. You get it, it's going to last, I think it's about 3.5, 4 minutes there, as KIAN is probably a little bit overstepped here, but as an Ahri, you're pretty much good to get away.
Yeah, absolutely. That Spirit Rush is really, really good for getting away from ganks and from collapses. You know, being able to dash over multiple walls in a go, they're basically a Talon on speed.
Talon on speed, I love that. Yeah, this Nocturne, you know, farming up really well, but maybe some questionable plays. Now, we know they are of that lower level, and I think actually some of the best things that they're probably going to get here from is people like KIAN maybe helping them out, Zombie as well, just saying, look, you know, calm down, do this, do this, do this, and learning more to then take it away into their ranked game. So, but it's good to see. It's quite a close matchup, really. I feel like Milk and KONRAD's team could have maybe ended this a while ago if they positioned better. Yeah,
absolutely. I completely agree. And I think another thing to point out maybe for the sort of like lower players is, you know, even if you do push R, that doesn't mean you have to use it. I think Aqua's probably feeling a little bit of the pressure from the gold difference and the damage difference coming out from Monster, that he just kind of has to make these hero plays, push the R and dive straight in. So yeah, I think even just the paranoia is enough to maybe make people disengage and back off a bit if it's an even fight. So we'll just see how that goes. They are now sort of taking that mid-tier turret with the Baron buff and powered minions. You know, let's see if they start actually taking down these inhibs as well, or they don't want to give gold. It looks like they do want to take it. They should transition to top side now, maybe, and take that one.
Yeah, I think that you'd split here 3 versus 2, but you know, they can take the inhibitor here for free. There's no tower there, so they got to try and fit it. I think Red Team had to try and force a fight there. There's no minions for them to really back on, and there's nothing to really dash away from. So the disengage obviously coming out really well, but the bot lane is now moving in, and that's probably where they're going to have to go and make sure they're going to get that push. Should probably go on the Ahri there. Fair play to Zombie on that. 261 farm currently, so doing really well on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the same could be said for the top lane and mid lane of Team KONRAD as well. They're farming really, really well as well. They've got so much gold on them, they really can start to, get these one-shots going. And they're really making their money's worth off of this Baron pay. I think that's a 4k gold lead now. Just from the Baron, they were 2k up to start with. And then since taking that, it's increased by another 4.
Yeah, MSI, they call it a Red Bull power play. We can call it a Red Bull power play, Baron power play as well, bearing in mind that the winners, not of this semi-final, but if they make the final and win the final, win Honks and Red Bull. So, unfortunately, we don't have Lloyd here to tell us what Honks are, but they're pretty much a Discord currency within our Discord server, so more than welcome. As you're going to see a little bit of a slower play now. 60 seconds for Drake. You kind of want this soul point on the side of KONRAD, so... Obviously, both Dragons now have gone over to the side of KONRAD in the last couple of rounds. This is kind of a bit of a make or break fight. The fact that your base is now open, if you lose this 5v5, the game's over.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if they don't start clearing this mid and top wave before this Dragon comes up. See, I'd like to see KIAN clearing that wave now, because we do have TP up for Lissandra and for the Yone. They could TP to the top wave and just take the base before they have a chance to back. So it'll be really interesting to see how Team KONRAD decide to play this, because potentially they do have an end game without even taking a fight.
Yeah, I feel like Team KIAN just respect the fact that they can get rid of this one and maybe get a pick on Milk here, as you're maybe going to see a TP is going to come straight out as well from Monster Buff. Milk now with the ultimate, just timing it so well. Milk's going to get the ultimate off as well, as KIAN is going to go golden. Going to get snapped back and does take the Rakan out of the fight. The Rakan's done so well trying to get this, but does get picked up by Monster every single time. But GA now on this Yone, and as I said, I think they're just going to respect the fact that they're going to take Drake, and it's not that big of a deal right now.
No, absolutely. You can see, the positioning, clearing out the top wave. If they tried to collapse down, Lissandra could TP up there. I mean, it was a good job that they got the TP out of the Yone. That does take a little bit of the pressure off. The Rakan will be back up in 20 seconds. He'll still do Rakan things regardless of how many times he dies. So I do think that's probably a good trade in their eyes. Maybe not necessarily losing the Dragon, but definitely the TP for the death of the support.
Yeah, I think so as well. And, Monster's now full build. And, getting more kills onto Monster isn't going to be the end of the world. Does try and get a few picks there. And actually, Risenjoy going straight through and getting Flash to get out there. So a Flash coming through. These Jano tornadoes are so toxic. Imagine going through as KIAN does ult in and ult straight back out again. That's a great pick there by Monster. Gonna get in there as well. Milkyard is dominating and Fieldy in the backline. We've not spoken much about them for a while, but the sniper shots popping off as Big Mitch is going to come in. Shield is going to go straight down, and Zombie is going to take 1 or 2 here as Milk nearly goes down, but Monster gets a flash in. That's an ace coming out, and I think that is GG.
And the Yone doesn't even die. That was crazy shielding, and look at the healing coming out of him as well. He's doing so much for the team there. I think that the Yone and the Lissandra have done a real good job for this team.
Yeah, I think that was a huge pick, because I'm trying to find my light as I realise how dark it has now got in here. So sorry if it is dark when we come back to cameras in just a second. Should be all good. Should be all good. Yeah, there we go. We're still light. We're still good to go. That's absolutely fine. But what a game we had. That was one of the best games I've seen for a very long time, because it was kind of one-sided, then went kind of back to the way, and it was both teams kind of respected each other, but it was the run of the play on Team KIAN, to KIAN really trying to rally the troops up, where KONRAD nearly threw. The Baron pit was kind of a T1 Baron play really there. If we see anything in the MSIs, we're going to see the gold here and the CS difference, but in the end, Milkyard, Monster Buff really doing work for their team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think going into the finals now, that's definitely going to be a point of ban. Look at that, 52k damage on the Yone. That's almost, between Lissandra and Yone, that's pretty much all of the damage of the enemy team there, between just the two of them.
Yeah, let's not talk about Janna. 10k damage on the Janna. That's Janna diff right there, support diff. I think, yep, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say it. I'm sorry, support diff right there. I'm sorry, Cam. Rakan doesn't really do any damage, but the fact that the damage on the Janna was huge, and the Janna play really, really worked really well. And I think both team comps, they could have worked as good as they could have. Ezreal was really coming online, but unfortunately, that Yone was just too much.
Yeah, and I'm just looking as well. It does look like we do have Team Boy in the finals with Team
Woo!
KONRAD.
This is
So
going to
that's
be.
going to be a really good battle of the AD carries if Boy is playing that. It's worth noting that for this last game, anyone can go anywhere. So to balance out the teams in the first 2 games, they were set roles, but now going into the final, anyone can play anywhere. So maybe Monster might go mid. We'll have to see. So that's going to be really exciting to sort of see how the bans come through and where they sort of position their players.
I'm expecting Milk wanting to go on that ADC, but I think Shield Twink is a mid laner as well. So I think that's going to be a really big one. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to go grab a break. I'm going to go grab a Red Bull, and we'll be back in just a minute with the final. It's going to be a good one.
Beyond infinity and back again. I'm to them. Young dog and a talking. You know want see me shine. Don't vex when you get married. Me nah make trouble stress my brain. Cut checks me, I cut to the chase. Start never second hand, never second hand, never stopping for a second, nothing up on the line. Look a jump and sound, I go try and make statements. Don't test my patience.
Like a Hellcat. Coming like a hell.
One plat, one diamond, one iron, one silver, and one gold. So it roughly averages about the same, but it'll depend where the plat and the diamond go. If one of them starts matching up against the bronze fours, that's going to be a big skill difference, and they should be able to snowball the game from that.
Yeah, I think they said who's going what where before they went into draft, so they kind of can match up, can kind of see what's going on here, there, and everywhere. I'm expecting Callum to be in the jungle. I'm expecting Nev to be in that top side. Boy on the ADC. Inter maybe not on that support. Potentially going that mid lane as well. Sleepy could go. So we could have Twink versus Twink in the mid. I think that'd be awesome to see. I think they, like I said, they've been taking over TGH a little bit here and there, coming on over, I think, from Fairy G server, if that's correctly. But unfortunately, Fairy G didn't make it into the final this week. I think she made it into the semi, but unfortunately didn't cast that one. Maybe next week if she's watching. But, from that last game, we just saw Team KONRAD obviously come through. That Yone was huge. The Jhin, I think, could have, if the Yone wasn't popping off, I think the Jhin was ready to go. And then Milk, obviously, on that Lissandra. But with the positions all changing round, it's going to be a hard one now to ban for the last 2 games you just watched.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be quite hard to predict where people are going to play as well. Until we actually get into this pick and ban phase and start seeing these champions come through, I don't think we're actually going to be able to tell you much about how this game's going to go, to be honest. But I really am hoping and holding out for a Twink off in the mid lane. I think we'll see who's the better Twink.
Yeah, both have played support we've seen here as well. So maybe if they're both supporting maybe the lower level, so Nev potentially on ADC or something, but Boy Saba's got to be on that ADC, and we're going to see Boy's got a bit of a reputation, especially he's been dueling with Lloyd, and Lloyd, I think, has been ruining Boy's LP, the same as, unfortunately, KIAN did for you, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we were on that interim, I did pop into KONRAD's team and, give him a little cheer on for putting KIAN in the dirt because, that's where he belongs for taking away my LP. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of kickback from him for this, but, it's worth it.
Yeah, well, we love a bit of banter here and we get that quite a lot. And that's what's so good about this community that we've kind of in. We all went to watch the MSI together. We all came from different parts of the country to come to London for a day and watch some live gaming as well. And obviously with our Gooselands that we have here, there, and everywhere. The community is absolutely fantastic, and definitely made some friends, acquaintances, whatever you want to call them. And hopefully, the dream is to literally get into the diff line on Matt's friends list, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So Matt is currently named Wa Glue Layer because he's sort of like holding the league community together at the moment. He's putting in a lot of effort. I want to give a big shout out to Matt. He's been there for Lloyd, who I want to give another big shout out to. That from the start of these skirmishes, he's putting a lot of effort into helping Lloyd, trying to balance out the teams, giving his suggestions. I've been privy to a bit of it, but Matt has been putting in a lot of effort to try and get these wheels greased and getting through. He did win one of the games and did get his crate of Red Bull. Hopefully that's arrived by now. And he'll be chugging those down, cheering on in the finals here. So yeah, big thanks to Matt and Lloyd.
Yeah, again, it's a tough one. As I think we're going to go in very soon to the draft. Prod can tell me in just a second, or tell us in just a second. But some bans here you're looking at. If Milk does go on this ADC role, you're kind of looking at the Jinx, potentially the Jhin as well. I've seen him play a little bit here and there, but the Riven top lane again on Monster. Even though they banned the Riven, I think they banned Fiora as well, obviously against the Mordekaiser. Actually, the Mordekaiser banned it as well. Then Yone comes out of nowhere, and this is the issue with the top level players. They've got such a deep champion pool.
Yeah, and it's really hard to ban them out. I mean, looking at his stats, he only had a 50% win rate on the Yone with a 1.51 KDA, which isn't that high. So I think they are quite surprised to see the Yone pick out and especially do so well. But again, that platinum level player into, I believe, Big Mitch is a silver level player. So you can sort of see the difference 2 ranks make, silver, gold, then plat, then diamond. So that there is quite a valley between these levels and these ranks. Some people can travel it quite quickly depending on who they play with. You can get a few lucky games and get a win streak, and find yourself in gold or plat in no time. That's certainly what happened to me. I definitely did not carry some of the games that I won. But there is a big gulf between a lot of these styles of players.
A couple of times I've actually had like a 12 or 15 game win streak. About this time last year, one with Dan, I think went quite quickly. And at the start of this year, again, the start of the season, I went on a huge win streak to start with. And now just getting people who are worse than the people I was playing against before. It feels like you just get attacked for having good win streaks, unfortunately. But you can carry if you're that type of player. And as we said in the semis, sometimes these silver and gold players, i.e., this one here, isn't a carrier role 9 times out of 10, or hasn't anyone to back them up. So a team environment works really well. So even though we have people like Riz on Iron 2, we have Sleepy is actually already gold 3, by the way. So the Twinks are definitely unmatched in that sense of like unbalanced in terms of ranked. But then you've got like Callum in the jungle and Nev down potentially in the top lane of Bronze 4. They could play really well as a team unit. And bearing in mind this community and what we do customs all the time. We all know how we all play. We all know how we like to play. So we're learning off each other all the time. So, they could really make it up like the Vi in the last game. Another bronze or iron player. Played really, really well.
A few questionable plays at the start, but then getting into the rhythm of the game, the impact it's really there. It doesn't matter what level it is. It's like playing against the really high level players. I'm only platinum myself. Playing against the diamonds and X master players, they only have 4 buttons at the end of the day. So if you're that low level player, but you can stun or CC lock down these high level players, they can't do anything. And that's where the team play comes into it, and being able to be on Discord in the Goose House with your teammates. It does make all the difference. You call out, I'm taking this guy out, I'm stopping him, deal the damage to everyone else, then all collapse back on that last person. So, yeah, it can really swing a game if you lock down the right person, no matter what level you are.
You need to play your part, and if you can, you do really well. So, speaking of that, thinking of meta, did we see that much meta? I think we saw the Ezreal and the Ahri coming out. We saw Vi, the Nocturne hasn't been that much of a meta carry, especially in team play. It was in the MSI quite a few times, actually. T1 decided to take it a couple of times, but because they had something like the Nautilus mid that we've been seeing. Now, I did say Cassante. I don't think we're going to see that too much. Now, if it does come out, it does, but hopefully I've opposite jinxed it, shall we say. But we're seeing that Inter actually is another Rakan main, but Diamond 2 here. So, is the Rakan going to go through? Is the Akali going to go through? There's so many bans that we can go through, but if you've chosen blue side yourself, if you've got first pick, what are you going to be looking to get to? Is it going to be the support or the jungle that you normally see, or the ADC first of all?
I think it depends on what your team plan is. If you're going for a protect the AD carry, but you don't know what AD carry you're going to go for, definitely taking support is always a good option. Getting that tanky support in. I myself quite often I'll swap up and I'll trade in first pick. I have no problems, missing my hooks as Nautilus going first pick. But I think Lloyd can attest to this. I think you can as well. I always hit them when it counts.
You could be 0 and 10, but that one hook makes all the difference. It can
change the game, absolutely. And I think that's another thing that needs to be bearing in mind as well. That one key play at the right time can swing a game. We saw it back and forward. The positioning was just slightly off on KONRAD's team. They get collapsed on a 3v5, then into a 2v5. It swings the other way where they're in a better position. So it's all of these elements all coming together, which is going to make the team up. And I think that we do just need to focus on getting everyone together and working together as a team.
Yeah, I think they're just unfortunately remaking it a little bit. They have been going through Pro Draft originally, but we just going to see how long it's going to take getting in. It shouldn't take too much longer. But in terms of that, though, and I think because we all know who each other plays, the bans are really targeted sometimes compared to a few people. But that first pick, if you let something slip, if you let that Riven in, you let that Seraphine in, you let someone's main go in, they're going to pick that up straight away, knowing that it doesn't matter who they're into, they've got their main pick and they're bloody good on it.
Comfort pick is huge, and I think in these low levels that's what people are going to sort of gravitate towards, is getting a champion they know well rather than a meta champion. So we'll see how that plays out as we're going into the pick and bans now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is where everyone is actually playing. If it is, that's fair enough. They did declare it earlier. Just not sure if we managed to get it switched around. So Riven ban straight away. That's obviously targeted onto Monster. We're going to see the red side here this time on the side of Milkyard and KONRAD's team. So they were blue side last time. They're now red side here. Maybe lost the coin flip. The Zeri ban coming out as well.
I'd like to see them put a respect on Boys Ezreal. I'd like to see a ban for that come out in the first 3, and potentially a ban on Sleepy Twinks Talia. So we'll see how they unfold that there. They are sort of like leaving these bans the last few seconds. They are sort of, there we go. There's a Seraphine. That's another one of
Shield.
Shield Twinks picks, and then the ASOL coming out again as another ban. That is a really hard carry champion that Sleepy has been playing a lot of.
Yeah, a little bit of a late gamer, that one as well. So with these kind of things, you can have an early skirmish where you're trying to win within the first 20, 25 minutes. You're looking to get Drake bang on that kind of 7-minute mark. Or, you're trying to play for the late game. So you get some early trades, as there's a Talia ban as well. That's 2 bans on Shield, I think, and 1 on Monster. So a lot to come through on this top side here, so maybe picking that top side first, knowing that you're pretty much going to win off the bat, as Ornn is going to be banned out as well. Maybe a comfort pick on something like Nev. It's a shame trying to ban out a bronze player on their comfort pick, but Akali looks like they're coming out, and that was for Sleepy Twink in the OPGG.
Yeah, so again, we'll just have to see if that's where they're going to flex these picks to. They are going to respond with a Jhin and hopefully maybe a tank support here, just to sort of protect the AD carry from this Akali assassination attempts.
Yeah, I think your boy Nautilus could be quite good, but, Risenjoy did play that Vi quite well. You do have that 3rd pick coming up as well. That 3rd pick on Milk, they can't ban a support away. There's boys, Ezreal. This is what we've been wanting to see. You did say it just then. What kind of support would you want with an Ezreal? Maybe a Karma Milio?
No, there we go. Milio will be great because that's going to stop all of these engages, shut down these supports. They're going to try and get onto the Ezreal with just 1 Q. I don't think there's a single support champion's initiation that Milo doesn't stop. So it's going to force a sort of a caster support onto the side of KONRAD.
So I feel like Milk is in this mid lane with the Lysandra. I keep wanting to say lasagna. So the bans now are probably going to really target Warwick coming out for the jungle, because that is one of Callum's strongest ones, knows how to play it really well. But I'm expecting Diana to really come out there on Callum potentially. The Vi has obviously been taken as well. The jungle matchup again is pretty similar in terms of ranks. Milk looks like it's picking out that the Shield Twink is going to be on that support. Now, you said there isn't many, so who would you ban, though, just in case?
I would probably ban Leona just for the ult. Being able to get that long-range ult in, but they are targeting top lane instead with Fiora.
I fully agree. Shield Twink is a kind of Masters player, so you would want to make sure that you're banning something as the Malphite does come in. Another engage tool. You're looking at the Akali's probably going to go slightly tanky, as they do generally. Ezra is going to be sitting there poking away. You're going to literally play real slow here. Akali can do some early damage, especially once hit level 6. I'm expecting maybe a Yone. The Riven's already banned away, or they're going to look to pick the Leona. Aurelia.
An Aurelia ban. Yeah, that's surprising. I think with the performance on the Yone from last game, you target that. But it looks like we're going to get a Camille. Oh, no, Gragas. I think they're just teasing us at the moment with who they're going to take. There it is, the Camille.
I like the Camille pick. Obviously, quite good engage, disengage in terms of the E. The ult's just going to lock down the Ezreal, not going to be able to get away from it whatsoever. And that's going to help make sure that Risenjoy does get in Milkyard as well. There's 3 pretty much lockdowns there, and pretty much point and click as well. Are we going to see an Udyr?
I hope so. It is interesting that the red side have decided to save support for the last pick. So we're going to see how that pays off as a tactic. Normally you'd want to pick the support a little bit earlier on in the game, as we're going to get the lock-in, hopefully, of maybe a Mundo. I think that'll suit the team quite well. Give that survivability, get that front line going, and yeah, that's locked in. So we're going to see what support they decide to pick, and this is better be a support diff now, saving it for last. The pressure's definitely going to be on for Shield Twink. They are playing Sona, okay. That's not a pick I've seen them play before, but we'll have to see how good that actually shows.
I think I've seen Shield play it with another Twink in the bot lane as Seraphine Sona. As I said, it is disgusting to play against Seraphine, obviously banned out. I don't mind this Sona pick. I think the healing and the shielding, as well as the ult isn't that long, so you've got to be kind of close to people. Obviously, with someone like the Mundo, if you're not going to get that down in terms of obviously the CC train, you need to ruin it first and get it straight back in. So we have some runes picked up here. Look at these graphics coming out.
Yeah, while we're loading into the game, it is a good time to shout out our green room team at the moment. We've got Tex, Jay, and Sawyer all in there making things happen behind the scenes. So big thank you to those guys for taking the time out of their days. I know Tex is running on 6 hours sleep over his very busy weekend. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys and the time you're taking to sort this out for us.
That was the last game's runes, by the way. You just saw more than Yon. So still thank you so much. But we saw the last games that were in. So that was a semi-final there. So we're going to see what is coming on. And if you have got points within on your TGH chat, I've just come up saying I can do a knife round now for 15k. Or I can get myself 10,000 honks as we're now going into game. We're looking at Callum to try and roam. On the UD, you're looking to farm and just be an absolute pest going in between. I've not seen Callum play UD, so maybe one that he's been cooking up in scrims in the solo rank queue, but does have a skin on him as well. But, you know, milk on this Lissandra was so big. The Feldy, like I said, I think the Jin could have happened any point. Just done really, really well.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
More spam. More spam.
Absolutely, yeah. Come on, Callum, keep the spam going. No, we're just going to go for a little circle dance. I hope that we can get a replay made of this, and this is going to go in Callum's highlights for the TGH. And then if we can just cut to him being dead first blood, that would be beautiful. As we see, Boy Sama, very high rank on the Ezreal there, flashing his mastery of the champion and a happy bee.
So we got some Doran shields coming out, especially on this Akali in the mid lane, knowing that the Sandra's going to bully you early on. Camille having to come in with the Vi to try and make sure that they get a good leash on this one. But I'm wondering if the bot lane are going to come in late to this as well, just making sure that they don't know where Risenjoy actually starts. Taking a bit of a beating there from the red buff, saying thank you, little cute kitty.
Yeah, I think the early game is going to be slow. I'm hoping that look, oh, he's wasted a little bit of time there getting to level 2. That little Bulbasaur isn't quite doing enough damage. With the junglers now, with the last patch, I believe it was, they brought out some new items so that you essentially get a little Pokemon pet with you. You can have a Bulbasaur. I believe that slows the enemies.
It's a shield. It's a big shield.
Oh, is it a shield?
Well.
It's the green
it's a big shield.
one.
The blue Squirtle is the speed one, which you get speed within all the brushes, which I always seem to take the blue no matter what now. The red one seems got nerfed a little bit. It's a bit more of like a stronger electrocute, should we say. It just helps you out with some damage dealing. But I think the blue one's huge, especially on Udyr. You know, you're looking to run and run and run. And the blue one would just help you clear so fast, especially the farmers. You're going to see a monster just disrespect Nev straight away and get some early trades on. I think Nev's on this Mundo because they know they're into monster. It's a tank. It's something that even if you are slightly behind, Mundo can just really come through. As Boy misses the first Q, as we see on stream. I'm going to call that out as well, Boy, just saying.
And I'm sure he'll thank you for that later. He is already up on farm though, and he hasn't even taken a cannon yet. So we'll see how that goes. We are looking maybe for a gank in the mid lane, or maybe just trying to back him off the wave. So yeah, doing a little bit of damage, trying to get the Akali pushed on the tower. She doesn't have that great a wave clear, so I think it will be beneficial to sort of like get her behind. You can see, you know, the 8 farm to 20. So we'll see how many of these she picks up. That's 1.
Yeah, going to see going through. But Lissandra's going to just sit there and ward down towards the Drake pit. You're going to see Emilio now going up towards there as well. But Monster Buff is just going to get straight away onto Callum's head. First blood, a little bit of disrespect, but this is what I wanted the Vi to do. I saw the Vi come mid lane. Obviously, we saw it in the semi-final as well. But Vi come in mid lane, 12 minions done on their crowd on their score. You know that they've done a full clear top side, and that is it. So the bot side is absolutely free for Callum there on the Udyr, but you know you're ahead of tempo. That Vi should have potentially gone in and gone against the Udyr, especially with the push there on Mundo, because they wouldn't have been able to respect it whatsoever. Monster gets it straight through. Even though the smite comes down, minions get their little cookies. When the Bulbasaur gets a cookie, as a Q lands there on Boy Sama.
Yeah, so that's 1 for 1 we've seen on stream now. Let's hope we can keep tally of that, yeah? And we'll try and get that added up at the end of the game. So far, 50%. That's not quite high for Boy, and I'd expect better from him.
Yeah,
you see Vi coming in from the mid.
Yeah, great gank. A little bit of timing there, unfortunately, you're not really going to see. But Goody coming out would have seen that just slightly, but Sleepy Twink just puts down that Cloud Shroud. as we're going to see another replay of this. The smite does go down. Unfortunately, back in the day, a couple of patches ago, that would have healed them up. Oh no!
I called it from the start. Showing off with the dance straight into first blood. It's almost like I'm psychic.
Oh god, that's in clip of the month. If that's not winning clip of the month, I don't know what it is. Thank you so. I think that was Tom on that replay. Thank you so much, buddy. That was amazing. Oh, it's Tex. Sorry, Tex. But yeah, Milio, I've not actually really played against a good Milio yet. And I haven't played Milio myself yet, so I'm not really sure too much. I know the range is great when you're inside that, and then obviously the Q just pushes you back. But another Q lands, actually two nearly Q lands there, as Fieldy goes down really low. Boy Summer does dodge that W there, and Shield Twink with no mana whatsoever, now having to back, and there's a reset. So I think it's Cannon Wave as well. Fieldy's going to miss quite a lot of minions here, as Milk was farming incredibly well in the last game, managed to get that gold lead ahead and just really support their team. I think they're looking just to lock down whoever the carry is, as topside we're looking for a gank.
Yep, see the R from Monster, it really slows down the backing of Mundo, but again, he's just such a thick boy. You know, he's got 2 ruby crystals, he's got a load of HP, and that's all he really needs to try and survive out this lane. I mean, he's not farming that great, but it's kind of to be expected. You know, he's going to push himself back behind turret, just maybe needs to stay in XP range, but Camille is really disrespecting him here.
Yeah, Camille is not going to let that happen whatsoever. That ward sitting there just by the bush being a tower. Riz just literally disrespecting the OK coming out. It's one of my favourite emotes just because of the sound it makes. As the root does go down on Milk. This Akali pick, first pick, is a little bit of a weird one. Obviously trying to make sure Sleepy gets something that they like to play. But Milk, Sandra's a really good pick right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really going to be able to shut down the Akali. If she just decides to dive in, the ult's going to stop her from landing the rest of her combo. I don't even think she gets covered by Shroud, and there we go. We see that the Mundo hasn't been respectful of the Camille's dash and gap closing, and is now, I believe, 2 levels down, or is it just the 1 level at the moment?
I'm not
we'll
quite
see in a second.
sure.
2 levels down. 2
yeah,
levels
2 levels
down.
So it's a real shame. Unfortunately, it does happen. Like I said, you don't know who's really playing what lane, and Nev being a bronze player up against Monster, who is, I think it was a diamond. So a lot of difference there, but I think the main one here for Nev is to learn about skill on the waves and where the waves are pushing when their waves aren't pushing, because that's really unfortunate thing there, that now Camille's got this big push in. Mundo does actually just about make it up, but the Drake is up and no one's really on it right now. Udyr is looking to now path topside as well. I would have liked to have seen them try and path down for this. Obviously, we saw KONRAD really giving up a lot of them last time and then coming back late game. So whether or not they want to switch out, the fact that Rift Herald is pretty much free on this Camille right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Mundo's going to have to stay in the turret. If I were the Mundo, I would be trying to push the wave out just a little bit. Just so that the turret's not clearing the wave as quick, just so that he can stay on top of the farm. We do see Callum showing in mid there, going up towards Rift Herald. The Vi is collapsing down on it, so we'll see if the Lissandra gets there in time. He has forced out the flash to dash over the wall from the Akali. The flash comes in. I don't think it's quite enough damage. There's another flash coming in, as the Camille is going to hopefully clean up the Udyr on the back line, as Lissandra does take out the Akali. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-for-1. So I'm going to call Vi baiting well there.
Yeah, Vi did bait. Whether or not there was actually comms there by Riz, I think that's Rain, if I remember rightly. Rain maybe not saying a little bit here and there, saying oh, go, 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 as the Lissandra did move to the pot side. But really well played there by Sleepy in a way to get that kill. You saw the dashes coming out and you can see how clean they can be on that Akali, as Fieldy is just not having a field day in the bot lane. Yep, got that.
Well, I mean, he is only 19 farm behind, and I'm going to completely ignore what you just said. It does not deserve to be acknowledged. But yeah, he is playing against a much better AD carry, I have to say. So I think only being a little bit behind, you know, is now what, 20 farm, but he has got the wave to clear now as well. I don't think it's that bad, especially with the rest of his team, like, you know, really pushing and winning. I think it's really going to be on Boy's shoulders now to really carry his team.
Yeah, I think the Camille, though, being strong is a good sort of semi-counter pick. Obviously, it's not a direct counter in that way. It's a bit more of a team play counter, as Inter is looking to get some vision here and just be a bit annoying on this Vi. Gonna put down that Q, just gonna stop that as well, as Sleepy's now gonna come in and Rizajoy is gonna come in that ultimate as well, but no one is there to back you up, Vi. You're going to have to try and queue out, but again, the Akali sits right in the way. The Sona ult comes in as well, and now so does Lissandra. Inter is looking to try and get away. No health, no mana whatsoever, but still a flash. No, flash being used as well. Fieldy does get that one down, and that was well played by Sleepy to stop the Vi around, but the Shield Twink coming in with that very small ult, like I said, and the collapse from Milk in the mid lane just made it all happen.
Yeah, absolutely, and I was worried for a second there that you know, the bot lane did start to travel down when Vi was fighting, and that was a really close Ezreal ult there.
You wouldn't have seen that, so we saw that, and you know, Shield wouldn't have seen that until the split second. As you can see, Milky are maybe going to get through here. Electrocute's coming out from both sides, and land down there. Milk just really, this Lissandra punishing with that, as this monster going to go for a tower dive, just comes out, deletes the Mundo. I thought you said he was a thick boy.
He is a thick boy, but currently you're facing into a Divine Sunderer abuser, and I am going to call Monster out for abusing Divine Sunderer, because it's such a strong item in the solo 1v1 fights. The health that you get back from it and the damage that it does, it's really, really strong at the moment. So I'm fully expecting you know, top lane to be really snowballing now. He's so much further ahead than he was last time. You saw how, you know, well and how much he carried that last game. So I'm calling this one now. I think that this is sort of, you know, a real nail in the coffin for Team Boy at the moment.
But what we saw last time as well was the ultimate disrespect of limit testing, but maybe a few times that they shouldn't have done it. You know, as we're going to see a solo kill here in the mid lane, double kill actually going down, as Riz may have gone in first. You see where the Vi died just there, and Milk obviously dying behind. Maybe this Vi is getting a little bit too big for their boots, and giving Sleepy here. And a Fed Akali could do a lot of damage on that Jhin and everyone else. And all you need to do is keep that Camille occupied enough time that you can get everything back in.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah, like what you were just saying. You know, them getting a bit too big for their boots. You know, that's what happened last game. They were pushing the limits of what they can do. I think they should just let the Camille collapse the top lane, really push it in, and you know, end the game through top lane. I don't think it's a good idea to try and keep taking these fights in mid lane and bot. I think you just farm up, get yourselves nice and strong, and then let the Camille do the real heavy lifting.
Yeah, you know that Camille can literally... Camille's going to have to take 3 people, as you're going to see this being taken out, but Nev just going to press W, make sure they heal back up again. Again, you know this Rift was free. You've got it every time. The Udyr is looking to come into the bot here, though, and Lissandra is coming down behind them. Maybe going to come through. Shield Twink looks like it's going to go down, but Boy is just not going to be able to get another kill. Does get one off, but gets a root as well. The sun comes through, and here comes Milk. Going to maybe ult themselves underneath the tower. It does, as Fieldy is going to collect another one. The E maybe going to come out just in time, but look where Sleepy Twink is. Misses the Shuriken, but Milio does get that in. If that Shuriken landed...
Beautiful sidestepping from Milkyard there. Really important, and especially with the kill going over to the support there, it's not really going to do much with that on a Milo. Sure, the healing may be increased a little bit quicker, but it's not going to be too much. You know, getting the first turret within, what, 13 minutes is really strong. Getting all those turret
Shield is down, though. Fieldy's down as well. There's another fight going in the bot lane, but unfortunately, Inter's got nothing, as you're going to see Fieldy going to TP across. He's going to get another time for a W, but no, the 4th shot is going to land as a double kill. All is going wrong right now on Team Boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you know, how much we were hyping up Boy there, I think that he can't live that one down anytime soon, as the Vi does come in to save the Camille with a perfectly timed Q. We'll see if these guys try and push their luck into the healing that's coming out. Look at the Tiamat and the just the damage coming out from Divine Sunderer. You know, that was essentially a 3v2, and, you know, look how much health they've still got, and mid turrets being lost for that as well. Yeah, I think this is going to be a real hard one to win. I think you're just relying on Team KONRAD to make mistakes now.
Which we saw them do in the semi, so it's definitely not something that, you know, it's them against them at the end of the day. See, Monster really trying to get those 2 minions, but the tower was there. Fieldy is doing quite well in this one. Again, 4-0, 5-0 on this top side. 2 towers down in that top now. That just opens up Camille to go anywhere they want and does get the W down. Milkshot back in for another round. An unstoppable Fieldy. His boy just gets slammed there on the Ezreal. We said about it, we want people to be on their mains. They want to have their comfort picks, as Inter does. Lovely little disengage there. Risenjoy just respecting it here. But the Akali nearly took down that 5-0 Camille. Now, if the Risenjoy wasn't there on that Vi, it could have gone any... It would have just been a huge skill matchup just then. So the Akali can play ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell whether or not you're making a Milo reference there or not because he's still on our screen, or it's just a football match.
I'm not sure, actually. I saw Millie, and as soon as I said it as well at the same time, I was like, I'm not trying to make another dad joke kind of thing. But Milk is just going to catch Sleepy here. Sleepy's just going to potentially go down, though. Flashes out. Shuriken's out as well. The healing coming out.
I think that confirms the dragon there. There's no way that they can get in time to get this dragon out now. As the Camille does try and go hunting, does miss up the Q flip over the wall. I think that wall was a little bit too thick. Yeah, they know, they can hear.
And straight away, as I said, it's just Milk now can do what they need to do. Milk hasn't had to do much apart from just farm, keep calls going well on where this Akali is going, and the Akali's trying to make plays elsewhere. Is going to go straight onto Milk, but straight onto Monster. Getting a couple in. Yeah. Gets going through as well, but you can see the matchup between these two. They're respecting each other as much as they can because they both know they'll get deleted if one makes a mistake.
Yeah, and then what we didn't see there was the Ezreal ult did connect with Camille there, slowing them down as they are forced to TP into the top lane with very little health just to save their turret. Oh no, it was the Lissandra TPing in. That was quite surprising that she's gone top. But I guess it's going to match up the Akali against the Camille in the mid lane, just to try and maybe get that tier 2 down there, as he is so much further ahead. He's on 2 items with full boots, into 1 item and full boots.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that they actually want to have a little bit of a scruff as well. You know, you got the strong mid lane, and normally here the ADCs will go mid, and you can see them going there now. And this Camille maybe look to go past the bot side. You got 2 and a bit minutes until Baron. I think Shelly, number 2, has already gone down, or is up in a second anyway. And then 3 minutes down as Callum's just going to get straight away down. The issue for Callum there is you've lost tier 1 mid, you've lost tier 1 and 2 topside. You don't have a topside jungle anymore. It's taken, it's not yours, it's not your quadrant. You've now got to focus on that bot side and get what you can elsewhere. I think that's just disrespect coming out.
Yeah, I do like to see the wards. I don't know whether or not Prod can change the view to blue side to see what they can see. That fog of war on the top side is massive. They do have some wards in the bot side jungle, but that top side is a definite no-go zone. You know, they're flying in dark there.
Oh! Monster nearly one-shotting, does pretty much get that one down as they're dominating. I think they really want to get this one over and done with quite quickly, and I did say earlier on as Risenjoy, I think that was a Summon Ares shield coming out there, and maybe the healing shield, and as you can see there, no wards in the top side, but they're going to see them all retreat to this bot side. Have a little reset, see if they can push in this bot side wave, because there's a big chunky wave down there as the Akali has been trying to push it out.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the gold difference, there's a 10,000 gold difference between the two teams right now. You know, they haven't got a single turret on the side of blue. And yeah, things are looking pretty bleak at the moment for them.
Yeah, they still haven't been able to close it out. Now, you know, maybe it's the fact that the pressure of this Camille, again, like we saw in the Yone, you're going to potentially get Sleepy down here. I was just literally waiting for it. Oh, the shield coming out as well. Maybe try and bait this in. Does Mac up a little bit here, and Sleepy's trying to dance around. Does get stunned, and that's potentially going straight down, and that's on Boy Sama. That was a bit of a skill matchup wrong there. The shield is just going to literally flash that one over. Callum is hunting, but Fieldy is just taking your mid tower there.
Yeah, and that was a 650 gold shutdown there for Boy, which is pretty big. There was a nice little sidestep on the flash there. That was quite good. I think Callum's ankles just got broke.
Yeah, not just broken, but he's now on a grey screen. And look at this turn from Fieldy, just feeling the chin movement speed coming out. Boy Sam has got to try and dodge it up and hit those Qs as well as the W now gets landed on Milio. Gets backed away and instantly gets one shot again. Just come off grey screen yourself. That's not be a good one, but the Riz does get Shelly number 2.
And it looks like they're trying to go for a perfect game with the towers, but it does look like Nev has just tried to take that tower, get a little bit more gold for his team. You know, he's not been in any of these fights. These fights have very much been 4v5. So we'll see if the Mundo can make any kind of difference. You know, he's got the Heartsteel built now. He's building into some, what I assume would be Ninja Tabbies. Well, that's showing my age now, isn't it? They're not Ninja Tabbies anymore,
I
are
said
they?
Ninja Tabbies earlier as well. Don't worry, I said Tabby Boots as earlier on the Mordekaiser. But I'm ashamed. I think the Q on Mundo stacks the Heartsteel, so I'm surprised you just pop a few shots at the Vi there, as you don't know. But you don't know where Monster was, and they're looking just to crack in this one as well. Get the tower down and make sure for it. So this is a little bit better play from them compared to the semi-finals. You know, Monster was just literally chilling with the team, but knowing how strong they are, they can just sit there and go from any way they want to go. Because you have to send 3 of Team Boy over to stop them. And Shield, Sleepy, you're in a bit of a weird position here.
Oh, how did that ult land? I'll never know. That was that shouldn't have hit. But I mean, Lissandra's going in now, get the ult, knock up on everybody. Camille's coming in to clean up. The Mundo's health just isn't there. It's disappearing as quick as it can. You know, the Milo's just stopped the Jhin ult, but not before the last shot went off. Lissandra, oh, the Zhonya's is perfectly timed, but she does still die to Boy Sama, and he may be able to actually clear up here.
Yeah, Boy does get the shutdown as well on the Camille. The Q, how did that Q miss? It looked like it should have landed, but then Fieldy just gal forcing through with the last shot as well. Jhin can count to 4. That 4 shot just knocking down Boy as well, and it's just left it Inter to try and clean up as waves of minions now going to come through. The reset's now going to come out on this Drake as well.
Yeah, you can see that Jin's already making his way over there now. I guess it is quite good for Team Boy now that that mid inhib has been taken. I probably wouldn't have taken that without being able to guarantee another one, just because it's going to give them that extra bit of gold, that extra bit of XP, and potentially give them a little bit more of a way back into this game. The gold lead is now 11k ahead for Team KONRAD, but that can reduce quite quickly if we do get all these big super minions killed.
Yeah, I'm surprised the TP coming out there from Monster could have potentially saved that. Obviously, Baron is the next one up. Could have just TP top lane and killed Mundo, to be honest. Maybe just actually having a bit of respect now compared to the last semi-final where they kind of didn't for this middle game, this 18 to 25 minute kind of period. Baron plays last time for them wasn't fantastic, but this is pretty much a given.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're moving up to contest at all. You know, Callum is pathing towards his red buff, which arguably probably should be going towards Boy, but I mean, he's too busy farming mid lane because Lissandra's still there, pushing it up. You know, she's a relatively safe champion. They don't really have that much gap close apart from the Akali, so she should be pretty safe there to just sort of push that wave in, keep the pressure, keep them locked down in mid, and that Baron just easily taken.
Yeah, they had to just totally respect it, and this is what you're saying, that you can see him just farming that mid lane. Sleepy is trying to get out as much as they can, but once you've pushed them out quite a bit, as you see, Monster is just in there now, literally trying to 4v5. The stun comes in, the Ezreal comes in as well, taking an absolute battering, but looking to go back in. Does miss the stun of the second cast of the E, but the look of the healing that's just about to happen. The Sona is just going to press W plenty of times, play that piano. Movement speed coming out, and they're looking to get this top side now as well, but they haven't got a minion wave there, but there's no tower, and looking at Nev's going to come through, but this Monster does get literally shut down nearly to nothing as Fieldy does get one down. But this is what I said earlier, the top laner was doing all the work in the last game, doing work here, but Fieldy was ready to go and really now showing this Jhin play as Sleepy is nearly down as Milk was in the back line.
Yeah, I think Milk is playing so confidently, if they decide to chase after the low players of Team KONRAD, then he's just going to take towers mid. He's forcing them away from the kills to protect their towers. That was a really, really smart play there. That was brilliant.
Milk really playing through their teeth. Really enjoying, I think, coming back to League of Legends, which is something you don't normally say too often.
Absolutely not. If you're thinking of taking up the game, please don't. It's for your own benefit. Even if we are a lovely community, it is still a terrible, terrible game that we cannot stop playing.
We can easily teach you and just come and join our customs. That's what we would really have to say about that. But we all know from Valorant as well and other games that you do get those people. The best thing about it is that mute all button. It's beautiful in times. And just learn the game. If you're doing it for fun, absolutely. But Fieldy's looking to push his bot side down. Drake is up in 2.5 minutes, so they're looking to push mid and that bot side. But I feel like they could threaten the Drake here. TP up in about a minute or so on the side of Monster, maybe about 90 seconds for Milk. So they could just TP topside here and pretty much threaten an end of the game while they're trying to contest the Drake.
Yeah, exactly. And being another Ocean Drake as well, it's just going to make this Camille even stronger, even harder to kill. I think they've earned the right to dance a little bit there. You know, the Ezreal ult, it's really not doing much to these minions. It clips the Sona, but the healing's just going to come straight back in. Lasan just trying to push them off the turret, gets the lockdown on the... it's just gone. Akali's just disappeared. The Viol comes through, clears out the Callum there, and Milo taking half his HP from one empowered Q.
Yeah, flash forward by Sona, the cleanse coming out from Boy as well, but Never's going to try and get in there just to beef up the front line. Boy is now just having to dance back in their spawn. Q's coming in left, right and centre, just about missing here as well, but the most health coming in, and they can't really do anything about this. He and Team KONRAD are just looking to take space, but they're trying to take a few kills as well as Milk does go down. Shield Twink there, Monster buff there as well, but Boy Sam are just not doing enough damage, unfortunately. And there's a flash coming out, and that is finally over. A little bit of a one-way streak for that one. I think it was just all in that top lane. Spear of Chauvin coming out towards the end as well. 3 items to pretty much 1, nearly 2 with that 4-mil. But, you know, Mundo was a good pick into it, just the fact that, you know, if you're behind, you may be able to do something. But there's being behind and then a Camille being 2 items and boots in about 14 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it all came down to. We said at the start, it's going to be the, you know, trying to draft out these teams is a really hard thing to do to make all the teams fair, and you know, putting someone that's relatively new to the game, that doesn't understand the full fundamentals, against someone that clearly knows the ranges of their champ and what it can do, you know, where it can in the game. And it does really show. I'm sure it's going to cycle through to the damage dealt in a second. But you can just see the gold difference. It's almost double in the top lane. There it is, the 33k damage.
Wow.
You know, respectable damage coming out from Boy Sammer. You know, he did more damage than the Jhin, so I guess we'll give him that. But it just wasn't enough at the end of the day.
Yeah, really not. Double the amount of damage, pretty much. Just enough. But yeah, you know, 2k coming out from Udyr, not doing really what an Udyr does. It's just getting in people's faces, stunning everyone up. But you couldn't. You had to respect the fact that Camille was coming onto you. You couldn't really be that annoying person straight in there. So fair play to that. But we say about the fact that it may have been a bit of an unfair matchup. They made it to the final.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they got there. They
played well to win the last 2 games.
Yeah, they earned that place to be there, and fair enough for them as well. Hopefully they've learned something from this, and hopefully we have as well, which is if Monster's in the top lane, you just need to 5-ban it, really.
Yeah, and we also know which Twink is better now.
Oh.
The Battle of the Twinks has been settled.
The Battle of the Twinks has been settled. I reckon Boy's going to be back in next week for a bit of rematching. Hopefully, he's not going to hear the end of that one. But guys, if you're loving that, please get inside our Discord channel. We've got more than just Valorant and League. I think we've got a Minecraft server pretty much back online as well, and alongside other games like CS:GO and other great games as well. So we've got a fantastic community with meetups and stuff all the time. Make sure you're following us because we do stream every Monday and Tuesday currently, and then make sure you get in as well. Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure, my guy. It's always a pleasure on a Tuesday. Are you playing next week?
Yeah, I think I'll play next week. I think I'll see you on the Rift next week.
I think I might be working late, so I may not be able to, unfortunately, but I will 100% either cast it or I will play it and also try and be involved. But guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much to Prod. Thank you so much for Lloyd again for setting this up. And we'll see you next time on the Rift.
Bye.
Brother, sister, can you see our light guide us home? We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer space. together, making memories in motion. With the traces of the chosen, let's come together with a heart wide open. A generation of renegades, we don't have to stay alone. So brother, sister, find your spaceship and let it take you home. We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer space. They're gonna see us from outer space. Brother, sister, star drifters, with the traces of the chosen. We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer space.
Sitting lonely in my room again, trying to find the words to say, but nothing comes out. I am looking for the better days, seem like they just stay away whenever I try. There's so many things that I keep in my mind. My friends keep me out and it hurts every time. With all the emotions I built up inside, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Sitting lonely in my room again, acting like I'm innocent. Why do I try? 'Cause now I'm feeling like a fool again, thinking I can fool myself by telling me lies. When there's so many things that I keep in my mind, I hang around people I don't even like. If they can be happy and walk with a smile, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time.